All right, when you are struggling with digestive symptoms, things like constipation, diarrhea, bloating, gas, heartburn, indigestion, it is really uncomfortable. And I know how badly you just want relief. So I'm going to get into some very symptom specific relief protocols for you today. Before we get into that, though, I really want to quickly touch on some very basic ways to support digestion, because what we want to do is avoid having these uncomfortable symptoms to begin with, not just have quick remedies for when they do happen, especially if these are symptoms that you're dealing with often. We want to get to the root of what is going on. So let's talk about some things that we can really implement to prevent these symptoms from happening to begin with. Number one, chew your food. Chew your food. You're eating anyway. You want to make sure that you're chewing your food appropriately. We only have mouth in our teeth, or we only have teeth in our mouth, rather. We don't have teeth in our stomach, in our intestines. This is the only place where mechanical digestion happens. As I like to say, chew your liquids and drink your solids. And yes, I said that right. Try using things like apple cider vinegar or digestive bitters to stimulate stomach acid and enzyme production. That can be really helpful to support digestive function. Also, make sure that you're spacing your meals appropriately. I like to say 3 to 4 hours to really support that migrating motor complex. If you're eating more frequently than that, if you're the grazer, you're just snacking all day long, that can really inhibit peristaltic activity and make it really tough for your digestive system to work properly. Get in resistant starches. Eat things like cooked and cooled white rice, cooked and cooled potatoes, green bananas, plantains, green banana flour, gluten-free oats, white beans, tapioca starch. These resistant starches really help to feed the good bacteria and help it flourish. Make sure you're getting enough fiber from produce, nuts, and seeds. I especially like chia seeds and flax seeds to support a healthy gut and hormones. Make sure you're drinking enough water, and herbal teas count. I recommend a minimum of half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water daily at a minimum. And if you are a very active person, or if you live in a very hot climate, or if it's summertime where you live, you definitely want to be drinking more. Aim to eat your food undistracted. So not in front of a TV, not in front of a laptop, a device, a screen of any kind, not over the sink, the kitchen sink in the morning, and avoid eating on the run. Stop eating a good 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, so you can give your digestive system a bit of a break overnight, let it do what it needs to do. Avoid things like alcohol, sugar, dairy, refined grains, and seed oils, and become a food detective. Start reading the labels, know what you're putting into your body. And in fact, eat food that doesn't even have a label. Eat real whole foods. So let's look at when you're doing all of these things and you're still experiencing things like constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, indigestion, gas, and bloating. What can you do? Well, for constipation, I love recommending castor oil packs for an hour, even overnight, to bring blood flow and circulation into the gut to get things moving. There's a wonderful supplement from a company called Cellcore Biosciences, called Bowel Mover, and it really encourages peristaltic activity. It helps to retrain the muscles in your intestines to get things moving again. You could try enemas, even colon hydrotherapy can be really helpful for constipation too, or you can do enemas at home. I love the combination of flax seeds and applesauce. It's a beautiful mixture of mucilaginous fiber and pectin that can really help with constipation. Ginger helps with that migrating motor complex, so it can get things moving for you. And also think about using, again, apple cider vinegar, bitters, hydrochloric acid to support digestion, get things moving. And really consider doing testing, functional testing, a GI map. Look for parasites and bacteria that could be contributing to constipation, possibly even a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth picture. I see this often on the GI map tests that I run with the ladies that I work with who really struggle with constipation. All right. Flip side of the coin, diarrhea. Definitely do not do castor oil packs here. Things that I really love when diarrhea is happening are slippery elm and marshmallow. Now, slippery elm, these are herbs. Slippery elm you can get as a tea, you can get it as a powder, you can get it as a tincture. And marshmallow also as a, I don't think as a powder actually, but as a tea and as a tincture. And these are wonderful for really soothing the mucosal membranes and reducing some of that inflammation that's happening. Beautiful when there's diarrhea present. Bone broth is really lovely here. Definitely don't be eating anything raw. No raw veggies here. Everything should be cooked. Very easy to digest. Salt or electrolytes are an absolute must. Now, salt, if you're using salt, I like Redmond real salt. You can use a Celtic sea salt. You can use a pink Himalayan sea salt. We're not looking at table salt here. We want the really fabulous mineralized salts. This is why I really like Redmond real salt. It is the best on the market. In terms of electrolytes, you can try LMNT or you can try Redmond Real-Lite, are great forms of electrolytes to add in. And again, look at doing a GI map for parasites, for bacteria that can be contributing to the diarrhea. There could also be a SIBO presentation with diarrhea too. Okay, heartburn. This is where we need to be thinking about adding in things that are going to be soothing to that mucosal membrane again in the stomach. So DGL, deglycerinated licorice, slippery elm and marshmallow here again too. Cabbage juice. So if you have a juicer, juice some cabbage. If you don't have a juicer, you can blend cabbage and just strain it and drink the juice. Very healing to the mucosal membrane in the stomach. This is where I'd also be looking at evaluating for H. pylori. This is a bacterial overgrowth that is incredibly common. Studies show that about 50% of the population has an H. pylori infection, and that often can contribute to heartburn. Actually, some of the other symptoms that we've talked about today as well, like constipation, like gas, bloating, etc. Really think about evaluating for that. This is where the GI map can come in handy as well. It picks up H. pylori so effectively. And also evaluate for hydrochloric acid production, stomach acid production. A lot of the times when we're experiencing heartburn, the immediate thought is, oh, there's too much stomach acid. And actually the reverse is true. So if you're someone who has heartburn and you are popping Tums, proton pump inhibitors, etc., you could actually be compounding the problem. So we want to be looking at actually the flip side, which could be low hydrochloric acid production. And there's fermentation that's happening, and that's contributing to the heartburn. All right, and lastly, indigestion, gas, and bloating. This is where I really love warm apple cider vinegar. So about a shot glass full or a quarter cup, just add in about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, top it up with warm water, drink that down. Wonderful for indigestion, gas, and bloating. Get a heat compress. This is another one where I really like to use castor oil packs as well. Great for some of that symptom relief in the moment. Peppermint tea can be really helpful. If you are someone who eats a lot of legumes or grains, degas them, soak them or sprout them. You can try using kombu. I cook all of my grains in kombu. You can add ginger as well to the cooking water with your beans, your lentils, your grains. Soak your nuts and seeds as well to degas them. It makes them a lot easier to digest. Check for dysbiosis again, because a lot of the time when there's a lot of gas, there's a lot of bloating, there's indigestion, it's oftentimes due to an overgrowth of bacteria, yeast, or parasites that are now fermenting the foods that we're eating, which is causing the symptoms, the bloating, the indigestion, the gas. So this is where a GI map test again is going to be really helpful to determine what you've got going on and then work with a practitioner to address those imbalances. Watch as well for sugar alcohol. So things like sorbitol, maltitol, isomalt, xylitol. So xylitol is incredibly popular in sugarless or sugar-free candies and gums. Large amounts of xylitol can cause gas and bloating. And also try using binders. Activated charcoal can be really helpful to absorb the toxins and gases. Make sure though, if you're using an activated charcoal, to take that on an empty stomach, because otherwise it's going to bind up all of the minerals that you're taking in from your food, and we don't want that. Another binder that I really love also comes from Cellcore Biosciences, and it's called Biotoxin Binder. It is fabulous. All right, I hope you found this helpful. You can grab my ultimate guide to gut health in your 40s by commenting gut 411 below. I've also linked to that here for you. And if you're ready to take a deeper dive into your digestive system and your health with testing, you can comment clinic 411 for more information on the products, the programs, the services that I have available to work with me and my team. Make sure you like and follow me. Share this with a woman in your life that you think would find this helpful. And also feel free to reach out to me with questions. You can find me at stephanie.sing.balancedhealth. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, and we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.